Okay, 30 seconds. We're coming in soon.
You could talk to the guy standby right now.
Okay, stand by. We're about to go live on our maiden voyage. What's
That was a horn.
I liked it.
The boat
You're
horn.
good. Yeah. 5 seconds. Okay. Hi everybody, this is Maria from What's the Story with Maria. And this is our first show, our launch show, our maiden voyage. So I want to thank Armed Radio and Joe Rocks. Thanks, Joe Rocks. And thank you, Jimmy, who's the producer tonight, who helped me get on all this tech stuff that I'm not so good with. And he was really great about it. So thanks, Jimmy. So we are broadcasting. Oh, all right. Now, there he is. I heard him.
Oh, really?
He says, you're welcome.
Hey, Jimmy.
And you're up in New Hampshire, right, Jimmy? Hi. I love New Hampshire. We used to actually drive up to New Hampshire to cross the border to buy booze on Sundays.
Okay.
That's what you had to do. And
why? They didn't sell booze on
sail
Sundays
and
or
go.
what?
Oh no, Massachusetts, it was a blue law back then. I don't know if it is.
What's up with Boston?
Like you.
Sorry.
Same thing, right? Still happening? Oh, God no. Oh yeah, they don't charge tax. That's what it is. Live free or die in New Hampshire. Okay, so tonight, here's what we got going on. So I am broadcasting live from New York. I am a singer, songwriter, comedian, actress, and I do a whole bunch of stuff. And I've lived here for almost 30 years. And one of the things that I love about living here is that you're going to meet. I'm in the business, right? So I'm going to meet a lot of other people in the business, but what you also meet along the way are just amazing people. And I was telling my guests tonight, Mr. Chris DePierro and Miss Susan Davis.
Those amazing people couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah, well, they were out of town, so we got these guys instead. But we met, I met them maybe like
1998.
Okay.
97.
And we were all in a show together called Tony and Tina's Wedding, which was a great show, interactive, wedding. Let me tell you, this was an improv class 7 days a week. That's really what it was, and you got paid for it. It wasn't great pay. I mean, God knows.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I met some of the best actors of my life there.
Me too.
And you two were two of those great actors. And we stayed friends, and which is going to bring me to, I want to talk about your movie. And before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about the show and why I really wanted to do the show. I do know a lot of great people, and I do have amazing experiences because of these great people. And I want to make the show about living and thriving in New York as an artist. And that means the day-to-day. It doesn't mean overnight sensation stuff. It means, what is the actor, the songwriter, the singer, the filmmaker, the artist doing on the day-to-day to stay in their art? And how do you keep from giving up? And what is it about this business that keeps us going? So that's kind of like what I want my show to be about. What's the story? The story behind all the stories, the real human side of it. And also, I just love New York because it's this mosaic of just beautiful, different things. And we all bring something to the table, which will bring us to our other segment, Keep Eating, go ahead, which is the food section of this show.
Oh, looking forward to that.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I want to introduce my first guest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's it.
That's amazing.
So, Mr. Chris DePierro, he is a filmmaker, an actor. Oh, Mr. What?
That's so short.
For now, just be Mr. Chris
I'm a
DePierro.
teacher.
So, and you are a teacher,
That's right.
Do they call you Mr. Chris?
Yeah, DePierro. I
Yeah.
let them call me DePierro.
Oh, just
Without
DePierro.
Mr. Yeah.
Oh, I like
A couple
that.
of wise guys just call me Chris.
All right.
Yeah, I let them do that too. I
All
got
right.
bigger problems than a kid calling me Chris.
I know
You what
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
How old are your kids?
High school age,
All right.
freshman, 14 to 18.
Okay, because I teach too. I have 7 all the way up to 17.
Oh.
They call me Miss Maria,
Okay.
which I like.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, I want to talk about, so we met doing the show, but let's start with your movie and then you can go back. Tell us about your movie.
Okay. My first feature movie that I did was called Miami or Bust, The Hoboken Bet. I wrote it while I was in Tony and Tina's wedding. I took a trip down to Miami. I drove to Miami. And on the way down, I came up with this idea of a race down to Miami for some reason, a la like Smokey and the Bandit or Man World, one of those movies, you know, with a whole bunch of characters and everybody trying to.
You know, it's funny that you
something.
say that because that's exactly what your movie reminded me
Yeah.
of. And those, I love those movies. Those madcap, wacky,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a million characters.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, you know, just because I was in Tony Tina's wedding, I had all those funny characters, all these great faces, hysterical people. And so I got to Miami and I went to South Beach. I saw the monument. They have a monument on South Beach. It says, "Welcome to Miami," the temperature, the date that you're there, tourist spot where people take pictures. And I said, that's the end of the movie. That's where they have to get, is the monument. So I knew the ending and I worked backwards from the ending.
Wow.
And I came home, I drove home, and I wrote like 70 pages in 3 nights.
So did you write, now, okay, so you started with the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So now, when you said you wrote the 70 pages, did you also work backwards from there? Or did you say, okay, now I'm going to, now how does it start?
Right, I didn't know. You know what?
Wow.
I just started coming up with scenes in a way,
Okay.
and I said, I know this scene has to be in there. I know it has to be the bet. So let me think about the bet for a while, how the bet is made. So I wrote the bet, and I knew it couldn't just start with the bet. It had to be something before the bet
Right,
and
right.
something after the bet, you know. And it just kept on kind of filling in the blanks and, you know, cutting one scene out, putting something else in.
Did
and-
you ever write a screenplay before?
No, maybe
Wow.
one thing I wrote like a short, but never really a screenplay. And I, you know.
And how many pages is usually an average screenplay?
Probably about 100, less than
Okay.
100, you know.
So
and they
you
work
wrote
back.
70 pages right away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it
So
just came out.
It was just, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but they say that when something is really authentic,
Uh-huh.
you can't even try to hold it in.
Right. And since I was in the show and I was working with Susan and all these other characters, I would kind of know their personalities and what they were going to say and what that character would say in a way. So I would write something as my character, and then I would hear Scotty Balecki answer me.
Right.
Or
right.
Michael Perry call me, you know, a jerk, or, you know, J.O. or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say, oh, I'll put that in.
Yeah.
And it was just so easy. And then I would, you know, it's kind of like they were writing it with me at the time.
You know, it's
Yeah.
funny. You mentioned two really, really great, funny actors.
Yeah.
Scotty Balecki and Michael Perry.
Yeah.
These are two actors that are like no holds barred. Like that's it. Out.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Right.
And so they're both their characters were really out there in the movie.
Yeah.
And your character, who I loved, Lenny, you just love Lenny, is so lovable. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. But he was a little more laid back, right? I mean, he was out there in other ways, but they were really taking more of those risks out there. Always like they were a little nuttier than you. You were more internally nutty, right?
Yeah, I would say that, except for the part where I jump into the
Oh my, that was
reflecting.
So
to
tell us, if
Westview,
that was
but,
scene, it's one of those scenes that stands out, and the behind the scenes of that scene.
You know what? I went to Washington. I'll tell you the quick back.
So wait, first tell people, because I've seen the movie. Susie was in the movie. She's seen it as well. It starts in Hoboken,
Yes.
right, and ends in Miami.
Ends in Hoboken also.
Oh, right, ends
Right.
back in Hoboken.
Right.
But with it, you have 24 hours. The bet is you have
24 hours to drive from Hoboken to South Beach.
right.
Because our fathers made the same bet. My nemesis, Mark Nasser,
Right.
the original Tony, our fathers made the same bet. My father lost.
Right.
And so we find out at a card game about the bet. We never knew about the bet.
Right.
And I found out my father lost the bet. And so I offhandedly turned to Scotty Balecki, Nicky, and say, I could drive to Miami in 24 hours. And Mark hears me and says, I bet you can't.
Right.
And then boom, I
That's
bet you
where it
can. And
starts.
then that's where it starts. And we do
Okay.
it.
It's so funny.
But we have to make 2 stops. We have to stop at Washington and south of the border.
Okay, so that's what I wanted you to get to.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 stops.
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of obstacles that should come up. But tell me about that particular stop in Washington, D.C. This is shot on location, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guerrilla style, no permits. We had 1 permit for the whole movie in Miami.
Unbelievable.
But everything, we just set up the camera and shot. I went down to Washington a week before just to take a look around, and I knew what I was doing. The scene was supposed to be shot at the Lincoln Memorial. And I went to the Lincoln Memorial, and it's kind of enclosed. It's open side, but it was still dark in there. And I was
Right.
like, I can't shoot in here, I can't. And I turned around, and on the other side of the reflecting pool is the Washington Monument. So I looked at the Washington Monument, just grass all around the monument. I said, that's where we have to shoot
So
the
you
scene.
didn't even have that plan?
No.
You just, on the spot figured it
Yeah,
out.
I said we're going to do it. And I was looking at the reflecting pool, and I got the idea of maybe I should jump, and I'm like, we'll see. Well, you know, that's secondary. I just need the scene, and then we'll take it from there.
Wow.
So we got to the RV. We drove to Washington. We slept overnight. We woke up the next morning, and we just started shooting, and we got the scene in front of the Washington Monument pretty quickly. And I'm like, guys, let's just keep going. In the back of my head, I knew that I wanted to get to the reflecting pool.
Did you know you wouldn't jump in?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And we just kept running, and I'm chasing Michael Perry, the Jimmy character, with blood on my shirt and telling him I'm going to kill him, yelling it in front of tourists. Nobody's stopping
and
us.
they don't know what's happening. They don't know you're shooting a movie.
No.
So
I mean, there had to
somebody
be
could have
cameras.
literally arrested you and thought you were like
Absolutely.
a crazy person.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
a terrorist.
Yeah.
I mean, with
Yeah.
blood, you had blood on your shirt. I mean, it's fake blood. but
Yelling,
it's
I'm
blood.
going to kill you.
In Washington, D.C.
In Washington, D.C.
Unbelievable.
So we just kept running, and we came up with all these little shots. Let's run past the ducks.
Now,
We
did
had
you
so
guys
much
have
fun.
a script, or did you, a la Tony and Tina style, keep improvising?
There was a script, but you know, at that point we're just improvising. You know, I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that.
How many
But
cameras did you have?
Two.
Two. Okay.
We had 2 cameras, which came in really handy.
Yeah, because I
Very
remember
handy.
different angles.
Yeah, and so we did a little scene in front of the Lincoln Memorial where we just run past Lincoln, like I'm chasing him,
Oh.
and it's people, you know, and we didn't want to bother anybody, so we just hit the camera, hit record, and I just said, just run past them and look like you're mad or scared of me or something, and we did it, and it was
So
perfect.
you didn't have extras. The people that were there were the extras.
Oh yeah,
They didn't even know they were in a film.
No. Pool. So we got down to and I told everybody, the crew, Denise Fennell was with me, Conchetta Rosarella, Amanda Jensick, me, Scotty,
Oh,
and
so you
Michael.
had a lot of people
Yeah.
with you then.
Well, they were the crew. They were carrying cameras.
So
and
the
stuff.
actors were also the crew.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we got down to the point. I said, guys, I'm going to go for it. We set up 2 cameras. I said, we only got 1 shot to do it because I'm sure someone's going to say something once I hit the water. And I jump into the water, and I just stayed there, spread eagle. And I just heard, you can't do that, you can't do that. And I just stayed there as long as I can, and then
Because
I got
the camera's
up.
rolling.
Yeah.
Now, how deep is that pool? Just a
Not
little.
deep, not deep. It was probably up to my knees.
Oh my God! So when you jump in, you jump in. If you see the movie,
Yeah.
he jumps literally in that pool, face first. It's like spread eagle, boom.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a chance that you could have literally smacked your face in that,
Absolutely.
but you totally took the risk.
I think.
I love it.
Well, I knew Jenny in Forrest Gump.
Right.
She ran through it. I watched the movie to make sure I saw
How
you know how
deep it
much it
was.
was, and I said, yeah. And I went there. I think you could see down.
Jenny had a permit though. Jenny had a permit.
So there was a forest ranger, I don't know, the girl was about 5'1" and weighed 70 pounds, screaming at me, and I just got up saying, I'm sorry, I must have said I'm sorry 100 times, and she said, you can't do that, you need a permit, blah, 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 I'm sorry, and then she just said, do you want the phone number to get a permit?
Oh my God! So she didn't try to arrest you?
She
or-
didn't take the tapes. We said, guys, take the tapes. As soon as we're done, take them out of the camera and run. Denise took the camera and she ran because she was on the off side.
I can't
So
believe
she
it.
just took off with the yeah.
I can see Denise running.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
skinny.
she is
She's a little
hardcore.
skinny thing, right? Does she run?
She has weak ankles. She
Oh.
has very weak ankles.
Well, let me tell you, that day they weren't so weak.
Nope.
Okay, now that's
No.
all. I see. I love the behind the scenes.
And the girl, the forest ranger, just said, you better take a shower real quick because that water is disgusting, and it was very green and mossy. And that was it. We got out of town, and that was like the first thing we shot. We shot the middle of the movie first.
Okay, which you hear a lot,
Yeah.
right? You hear it.
Yeah,
I mean, you
they go
worked
out
in
of
for
order
a long
and stuff.
time, so you know they do go out of
Yeah.
order.
So once I got that, I got so excited because I said, wow. I looked at the footage, I'm like, wow, it looks great. It was so centered, and I was in the center
Now,
of the
did you have
monument and everything.
Okay, so that's another thing. When you do a film, you see that sometimes you film something and then you have to go back and do the audio. Did you have to go back and put audio in?
Not at that part, no. Everything
Wow.
was good. Yeah, because before I jumped in, me and Jimmy, Michael Perry, we argued back and forth for maybe like 5-10 seconds. So all that audio was like close up, so we had great audio.
Right.
And then it was just me jumping. And you could hear the splash, you could hear everything, and you know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, the audio was tricky, but not for that part.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Because it was outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so that scene is very challenging. You know what other scene I mean, well, let's focus on you for a minute, because then I want to get to Susie, because that scene just, oh my God. But the scene where you crash into that thing.
Right.
At Miami.
Yeah.
That, I mean, how did you do that without killing yourself? I mean, really, you run like face first into this thing.
The thing about that was, which really helped me out, was the edge of the monument was cut in like a V. So it wasn't a flat edge where you ran into it. It was cut in.
Okay.
So I could put my face in there and really look like I hit it.
Oh,
So
all right.
me being a big fan of wrestling, I kind of knew I could just kind of bounce back. But you could see my face go in, so it kind of looks like my face gets mushed. But
you know, I don't know if you know this, but growing up, my Uncle Joe Grignali was a wrestler.
Yeah, really?
Amazing.
Come on.
And we used to, my cousin Ronnie, shout out to my cousin Ronnie, in Massachusetts. It's his dad.
Uh-huh.
And we used to, as kids, we were like a year apart, he would take us with him. He'd say, come on, get in the car. And we were like 7 and 8. Can you imagine? And we would be sitting there, and Uncle Joe knew, like, Chief J. Strongbow,
Gorilla Monsoon.
all of those guys. I mean, you name them, those early, Bruno San Martino, all those guys. And we were just these kids. And it was amazing. And then we would go backstage. We were little, you know, and these big guys would hold your hands, you know, you'd go backstage. And it was just an amazing thing. And they were all like pussycats.
Right.
So it's funny that you talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, but all those moves with the bang, and my cousins and I, we used to do that as kids. We used to jump on my grandpa and that's it. It'd be wrestling, and they would let us, the guys would let us do it.
Yeah.
You know?
We would say, does that move really hurt? We try it on each other, we're like, holy cow.
Like a full Nelson, a half Nelson, up to sleep on the shoulder.
Did you watch a huge wrestling fan?
Were you?
Huge, yeah. I mean, you know, like the WWE.
I'm learning a lot about Susie. See,
Yeah.
I thought Susie was just a sweetheart. Now you say there's another whole side to her.
Well,
Because I saw some stuff in that movie. Can we talk about Susan's scene?
sure, of course.
All right, so listen, let me just check the time for a second. I'm going to keep this my first show. Okay. So,
Say hello to people too, if you want to just. They always like to.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
If
So
you don't-
no, I did that the other night. There's a bunch of great people on. Okay, so Jeffrey Campbell, my friend Jeffrey Campbell, is like my PR guy. So let me just tell you what Jeffrey Campbell said about what this show is probably going to be. He said it would be wit and wisdom, class and sass, food and fun. So thank you, Jeffrey Campbell, who he's my PR, well, he's my friend, but he does so much of my PR. He's great.
Loving it.
And Darcy Blakesley is out there she's here from LA. She's in LA. She does voiceover. She's an actress.
You got me a gig videotaping one of her shows.
That I directed.
Yes.
Darcy,
yes,
right.
I remember Darcy very
Hello,
talented.
what was the name of that show, Darcy? Hello World, this is Darcy, or something. It was such a funny show. And then who else do we have coming up? We have Stephanie Greco from Stoneham. And then we have Kathy Roberti, my cousin, also from Massachusetts. Just a whole bunch of great people. I'm going to... Catherine Salvio, okay. So, Catherine Salvio gets the Who's Better Than You award from me, which people will have every week. There'll be a Who's Better Than You award.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
This week it goes to Catherine Salvio, who you guys saw in the preview, because Catherine came over the other day. I saw her, and I was just freaking out about all the tech stuff. And she said, "Do you want me to come over and just help you?" I said, "If you do that, I will take you out to dinner and drive you home." And so she came over. My friend, she's very sweet, and she worked for NBC for years. So she came over and set it all up with Jimmy, our producer. So thank you both for that. So Who's Better Than You goes to Catherine Salvio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's working.
I'm
It's a
telling
great
you.
job, Catherine.
Yes.
I get that DVD
Oh
to
yeah,
you
you know
soon,
that's
too.
what she's mad at you.
I know.
Catherine, right?
I know,
She
I
said,
know.
just tell him.
I want to acknowledge it.
It's
like
only
I'm not
been, what,
trying.
2 years, I think?
I think so.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
it's
that
all right.
bad
You were
for me.
busy running around the monument, right?
Yes, I was very busy. Oh, extremely busy all the time.
You'll
24
have it for
hours
you
a day.
5
Very
to 10
busy.
business days.
All right, let's switch seats with
Yes.
Susan, because I want to talk about that scene.
I can't.
Oh
no,
my
no, we
God.
don't have to literally.
No,
Oh,
we
okay.
do have to switch
Oh, we
seats.
should?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
Go
switch
front,
seats.
go back.
Yeah, that way. All right, good.
Anytime
She gets a good chair now.
I get the good chair.
All right, so this is Susan Davis. Let me tell you about Susan Davis.
Hello,
She
everybody.
is amazing.
Oh,
She's
thank
amazing.
you.
Susan
Thank
Davis, I
you.
call her Susie, but her real name
Yes.
is Susan Davis, and she is, when I was in Tony and Tina's, I played a couple different characters, and then I landed, usually you play a bunch. You play an understudy, and you understudy like 6 roles, and so then someone leaves, and you usually, if you're doing a good job, get bumped up to that lead role. And then they hire other people to come in and do the understudy roles. And you're in every show, and the swings really work, I think, almost harder than anybody, because they play, you have to know 6 different scripts. So Susan was, I guess, 6 of us are understudy.
Yeah.
And she was my understudy, and I just loved her. And I remember thinking, if I ever leave the show, I have to make sure she gets this role.
Oh,
And
God.
no, because you just were, first of all,
Amazing.
you're so good at it. Second of all, you're one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. And kudos for that, because we were talking about this before. I firmly believe you do not have to be a jerk to get things done. And I actually am of the school of, I hate that squeaky wheel gets the grease thing.
No, you have to be likable, or no one's gonna give you anything.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, genuinely, like, nice, sincere.
Yeah, so Susie
absolutely.
came in, and
Yeah.
she took over the role of Marina Galino. And get in here more, Sue. So tell us about, was that your first acting gig, or had you done stuff before?
It was definitely my first professional.
And how old were
acting
you?
gig. I was 22.
Wow. Yeah, like a puppy, right?
I was a baby.
And did you grow up in
Yeah.
New York?
No, I'm originally from Colorado.
Okay.
And I came to New York when I was 17, turning 18 to go to school.
Wow, where'd you go to school?
I started school at NYU.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a big goal of mine when
yeah.
I was a little girl to come to New York, and I had to go to acting school, and I wanted to go to one of the best, and Tisch School of the Arts was one of the best.
And it is,
acting
still
schools,
is.
And I just wanted to come, and I did, and
Oh,
yeah,
it's a great dream, isn't it?
it was.
And how old
the
were you
most
when
terrifying.
How old were you when you first knew you wanted to come to New York? And what was it that prompted? Was it a movie that you saw? Okay, 'cause usually
Yeah.
somebody sees something.
Yeah.
So what was it?
This is so cliche.
No, go ahead.
But it was So I was probably 7 years old, and I had no business watching this movie, but it was The Godfather. And
Wow.
it was really. I don't know. I was a
Who
little
doesn't love
older,
that?
but I was.
You were 7.
I was very young, and I just saw Al Pacino, and it just opened this whole world to me, thinking, wow, like you can just bat your eye and just express
Right, on films.
whatever in the context of the scene. You can let people know what you're thinking or feeling. I mean, that's the
True.
kind of actor Al Pacino was, and
He still is. I'm a huge fan.
Okay, good. Okay.
He can do no wrong.
No,
as
I
far
know.
as-
Well, like for
And
him, honestly. Like,
another
he
time
was
I'll
really-
Very mature for a 7-year-old. Really?
Right.
Well,
She was
it
rare.
affected my life, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
said,
could-
that's what I want to do. I
So
wanna
Michael
be-
Corleone changed your life. I
I
love
want to,
it.
and Val Kilmer, too. I thought he was a great actor.
Okay. All right, now, that's an Italian movie, and anyone that's Italian knows every single line from that movie. Am I right, Chris?
Absolutely.
Okay, but you are not, you look Italian, and you were an Italian, you get cast as an Italian quite often.
Mhm.
But what's your descent?
My descent, I'm mostly Mexican. I'm
Okay.
a Mexican American. My
So-
mom's Mexican.
Your mom is Mexican. She must
Yeah.
be beautiful because you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. She is.
She
She's
is,
quite
right?
Beautiful, yeah.
I
she's
think I might have met.
beautiful.
Did you come to
Family.
the show?
Yeah.
I met your mom.
Yeah.
She's really. You look alike, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
she's
is she
wonderful.
from Mexico, or is she
No.
just of Mexican origin?
Mexican origin.
Okay.
Her father is.
Is
from
your
Mexico.
you have any? You're Italian and your dad is.
My mother and father are Italian,
Italian.
but they were both born here.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents were born in Italy.
Oh wow.
It's just so cool. That's another thing I want to touch upon as the show keeps going, about just different places that people come from. So, okay, The Godfather. Then you moved. You went to NYU.
Yeah.
You started in Tony and Tina's wedding. And how long did you stay in that show?
Lucky. About 5.5 years.
Yeah, I was in it
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
It's an amazing show, right? It's
The most
hard
terrifying thing. Yeah.
though. It's terrifying because you literally.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk about what the format of the show, of
Okay.
Tony and Tina's wedding, because a lot of people don't know these interactive
Right.
shows. And then we'll go back to.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, let me just say, it's an improvisational show. It's based on improvisation. So there is a script, but it's lightly scripted. There is a tight timeline that you adhere to, but
For every character.
and it's yes, for every character. So it's character based. I felt, or not. I felt it is, and it's improv and it's interactive. And so the base of the show is it's a wedding, and so the people who attend the wedding are guests or family at the wedding, and.
But then you're pretty much thrown to the wolves, right?
Yeah,
and the audience becomes part of the show.
Yes, they become part of the show.
So your script is going to be different every night, depending on what you're given.
Correct.
And
who you're acting, who you're acting with, who your partners
did you take any improv classes before that show?
Never.
Wow.
And that was the thing. I mean, I had very little experience. I actually had to quit NYU. I couldn't finish school. It was way too expensive, and I had to just start working. And I remember hearing about Tony and Tina's wedding on Z100 because. Christine Nagy was like,
who's our friend. Hi, Christine from she's on Light FM now, 106.7.
I know.
She's amazing. We love Christine.
I was her last Tony. Her last show that she did.
Oh, really? She came in and played Tina.
She was my first show I saw.
Wow.
She played Tina on my first show that I watched. I'm sorry, that I came to audition. And so I remember hearing about the show and thinking, I could never do the show. It's about Italian people. That was another thing. I totally shut myself out. I didn't even. I had no idea what typecasting was.
You know what's funny that you say that?
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I didn't want to audition for the show because I thought, you know what, that's typecasting. I'm not going to fall into that. I don't want to play an Italian.
Wow.
And I wanted. Can you believe that? I know it's ridiculous. What am I? How can I fight?
Take the job.
But that's what people were saying to me.
That's crazy.
And but also, who am I kidding? Every job I've ever gotten is because I just play me, or some exaggerated version of me, or something I know. So although some things are. But anyway, so let's go back. So you were in the show for 6 years, and that's where you met Chris, right?
Right. Oh my gosh. So really quickly, never took an improv class. I'm thrown into this thing, and everyone's so good. I feel I just blown away by
really good
because everyone at that point had been with the show at least a year or
more. But
more.
that show had a way of attracting people that took risks. That's what it was really about.
Yes.
And it was raw.
Yeah.
And it was good. And you could. I always wish there was a camera on people.
Yeah, that's true.
For those moments.
Gosh, you're right.
Right. That's what it was. It was all these moments that nobody else would see except the audience, and that's it. That's why theater is so amazing.
Special. It was just. I've never had learned anything so incredible in my life. I used to think improv was horrible, improvisation. I'm so terrified of it because I'm such a thinker, and you just have to. You can't think. You just have to say yes and just. Think, but just throw yourself into it. And so it was really an incredible learning experience. But so Chris and I met. It was his third performance. We were swing.
And who were you playing, Chris?
I was Mike Black.
He was Mike Black.
Also a swing.
I just had gotten into the show.
Then these are the waiters of the show. The caterers.
Caterers.
And the staff. And I played Nikki Black that night, and I met Chris, and of course.
Oh, so he was playing your brother.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know anybody. I was so scared.
That was a tough room. You guys were tough actors. When we went to that dressing room, it wasn't the most friendliest place in the world.
Let's mention the dressing room. The dressing room was
pecking order.
I don't know square footage, but I'm going to say 400 feet. I mean, this whole apartment is 650, I think.
This was
no, it was smaller than this.
Probably, yeah.
So 30 actors. 30 actors, men and women.
Yep. And
we just, you didn't even think about it. Mm-hmm. The first few times you were like, I have to get undressed here in front, But now, forget about it. You just got in there and you had to change. So I didn't realize that. You thought we were a tough crowd, huh?
Oh.
The actors?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Well, in a beautiful way. I mean, there was Patrick Buckley and...
Not towards us, towards each other, you guys. There was a little bit of,
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're going to have to take a quick break just for a minute. That's a good place to get a little water. Yeah. Yes, cliffhanger. We're going to take a commercial break. And thank you to our sponsors. Where would we be without our sponsors?
They're awesome. Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you,
okay.
Sponsors.
All right, let me see. Should we put something up in front so it looks like we're 2.5 minutes? Okay. 3.5. Okay. So you know what? Let me see the poster. Get your poster. Okay. Because they can't see it on the radio, but we can talk about it now.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Facebook Livers, thank you for coming on. Jay Mergerman is here. I actually was at his wedding in Philly. I had the best time.
Look at Gargani.
Gargani, we got to get Gargani on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no.
Nice profile picture, Gargano.
I took that.
You guys like
picture.
this?
Oh, man. Oh, look what Captain Salvio said. You're forgiven.
Oh, thank you, Captain. I'm so sorry.
Shout out to Celeste Scalisi. She was, we went to high school together. All right, let me see your poster
Yes.
for your movie.
Oh. Rizzo.
Rizzo's on the poster.
Her dog's on the
My
poster.
dog Rizzo. Rizzo, she loves that stuff. Okay, so this is the poster for Miami or Bust, which a Hoboken bet.
And you
there's-
see the still is me jumping into the...
That's the scene he was talking about. He literally did a swan dive. And, I mean, I can't believe that it was that low. I don't know how you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't hit the bottom. I kind of just... It was so
You
thick.
could have broke your head.
The water was thick.
Was it like algae?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was
Are
disgusting.
you a good swimmer?
Yeah, very
Oh, thank God.
Excellent.
All right. So look at this. Official, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Official selection of the Garden State Film Festival 2015.
Very proud about that.
You should be. And this is official selection Coney Island Film Festival 2014.
Which I'm more proud about getting. That was where the movie was world premiered.
Oh,
At the
okay.
Coney Island Film. Rob Letty of the Coney Island Film Festival.
All right, so we'll talk about this when
Chris
they come
made
back
sure
on.
he
We're on
put
commercial right now. He put
everyone's
every
name.
single. Susie, can you find yourself?
There I am.
Oh.
I'm like
Is it in
first.
alphabetical order? No.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm in here somewhere too. I was in the
Oh,
movie.
you're in there?
First,
No?
I was in there.
Oh,
yeah.
you are? Where are you?
I don't know. I'll find it. Doesn't matter. I'll find it later. But
Okay.
so this is the movie. Scroll it down. Now, Chris, where can people see this?
I'm gonna upload it onto Vimeo right now, and then they could watch it on Vimeo. There it is.
Vimeo. You'll have to write that
Vimeo,
down.
and then you could, I think you download it, and you have to pay maybe $4 to watch it.
Oh, that's nothing.
That's
No.
nothing.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
It is a really
So
funny
Rizzo is
movie.
my dog, and she is really cute, and she's here with us tonight, and she's really chilled out. She's having a good time. So we're going to be coming back soon, yeah. We're going to be coming back. So is everybody, okay, a minute. Okay, so Jimmy, thank you. Our producer says we got a minute. That's my cousin Cora. I love Cora.
Hi, Cora.
I love you so much. I love your show. And I love you. Hi, Cora. Cora is in Massachusetts as well. She's one of those timeless beauties. She's laughing right now. I can hear her in my head. She is. She's stunning. As are her kids and her husband. Well, I got a good-looking family. I got to tell you, I really do. All right, so we got a lot of nice people coming in. So as we see you coming in on the Facebook Live, we'll try to. Oh, Peggy Bauman. Love Peggy Bauman. She's a New Yorker. She's a Mets fan. 20 seconds. Okay.
Ask people to share the show when we come back.
Yes, please share the show when we come back. We love it.
Or now.
For now. We're gonna, okay. All right, so we've got the right half an hour. That's great.
Yeah, that's all right. Look at you.
This is really cool. Okay.
Now it's great, Maria, since you're recording this, you can download this video and then you
Okay,
can
we're live. We're back. We're live again. We're back with Susan Davis and Chris DePierro.
I'm Chris.
Yeah, this is Chris DePierro. This is Susan Davis, and we're talking about Chris DePierro's movie Miami or Bust: A Hoboken Bet, which we showed on Facebook. We showed on Facebook Live the actual poster. We can't show you over the radio. But Chris, can you tell us about those awards that your movie won again, please?
Oh, not exactly awards, but I got accepted into film
Well,
festivals.
to me, that's a
It
big
was
deal.
very
Yeah.
exciting, yeah. But the first festival was the Coney Island Film Festival, run by Rob Letty, and that's where the movie world premiered, which it was a great night.
Amazing.
And then the Garden State Film Festival, which I was very happy to get into in my home state of New Jersey. Got into the Bergenfield Festival, where it won Best Feature.
See, that's
Yeah.
a big deal. And we were just recently. We all went to see it.
Just
downtown in the Lower East Side.
Yeah,
of New York.
the New
Manhattan.
Filmmakers New York. They have a screening at the Anthology Film Archives down on 2nd and 2nd.
Yeah.
And it was shown in a great theater and on a big screen. I got my friends down there to come see it, and I was very surprised because I didn't know anybody in that in that film festival, in that
How
screening.
did you get it? So you just submitted it?
I submitted it, and they liked it. I kind of
Of
knew.
course
a
they
couple
liked it.
people.
What's there not to like? This movie is a typical. We talked about it before. Madcap, zany. If you were a fan of any of those '70s, like Smokey and the Bandit, Mad World. There's so many of them.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run.
Exactly.
You are
Cannonball
gonna
Run.
love this movie. It's like one laugh after another. The reason I want to watch it again is because if you laugh, you might miss something, but you can't stop laughing. And then the audience is laughing, and there are so many crazy characters and people in this film. So, all right, Susie. Speaking of which, it's a great segue. Your scene that you were in this movie was one of my favorite. So what it is who's getting married? It's a bachelorette party, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a bachelorette party, and it's all these Italian wild women, and they're at a restaurant, right? And these very, very, very vanilla girls, but kind of girls that talk like that, came in, right? And their
Manhattan
names cracked me
girls
up.
who
Manhattan
came
girls.
from-
Harper, was it like Madison?
Oh, you saw
Ashley,
that?
oh my God, that was the names that you gave these girls. Ashley with like 2 E's or something, hysterical. So they come in for their bachelor party, and they run into Susan and her group at the bachelorette party.
Right.
And tell me about that scene.
Oh.
Anything you want.
Okay, so.
Move closer to camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Pardon. So.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
Go.
sorry. Okay, so we went to it was a bachelorette party. I was one of the friends of the character
Denise's character,
Denise Fennell's character Vicky, and it was just a group of us, and so I wasn't sure where I was going to take the character because we were just sort of playing around. Chris had a very loose directorial style. He trusted us. He trusted the actors because we had worked with Chris for years and years and years, and and he just sort of said, okay, this is what I want to happen in the scene. So you guys, we'll do something, but kind of, have fun with it and figure it out. And so basically we're hanging out at the bar, and these girls come in, and they're being really judgmental because we're sort of having this great time, and we're characters, we're from Hoboken, so it's just sort
They
of.
call them the mob wives. They say, "Oh, the mob wives are here." When they walk in.
And that was kind of like
They insulted us. Yeah.
And that was like,
yeah.
what? You think we're the mob wives? And
Yeah.
when you see that,
So they disrespected us. So then
all hell breaks loose.
so
right?
basically I was sort of the tough one, which is
I love it, because
well, we all sort of lose our minds, and we're kind of like go crazy. We're defending ourselves, our character, and then we just basically, one of the characters played by Alyssa Trupelli Berardo, she flips the
They call her
table.
Snooki.
Oh right, they call her Snooki. Thank you.
What did you call me?
And
you call me Snooki? And she
flips the table.
Which is very Teresa Giudice, but was that before Teresa did
No,
that?
no,
Or
it was after.
So which was, I thought, so perfect.
Yeah.
Teresa Giudice of the
Oh,
Housewives.
Yeah.
exactly.
Of New Jersey, which I thought was hysterical.
It was so.
And so
funny.
that was meant to be?
Absolutely.
It was perfect.
Yeah. I said, "You're gonna flip a table."
It was
Alyssa."
perfect. That used to be my guilty pleasure, the Housewives of New Jersey.
No, I love it.
Me too. So I was sort of, we all were tough, but I basically said, you girls aren't going anywhere.
And she
in front
locks
of
it.
the
That's
door.
Oh, I stood in front of the
That's
door, and I
it.
was like, you
And
get
that's from
through all
Bronx
of it.
Tale, basically. And now
I love it.
Chaz says, "Now you can't."
Which one of our friends is in? One of our friends is in Bronx Tale on Broadway, Joe Barber.
Oh, wow.
right.
Yes,
Oh,
and Lynn and I went
yeah.
to see him. Lynn will be on the show next week.
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay, so let's switch chairs again
Okay.
and get Chris here because I want to talk about Susie. You got to see this movie, and you got to see. Wait till you see Susan in it. And if you,
It
just
was
the
fun.
I'm
It
gonna
was
see
a
if I
great.
can find
So
that
you,
line.
that's it. You locked it down. Susan.
I liked it. Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't you have someone in a chokehold?
Well,
or
what
something?
happens, after she stands in front of the door and says, "Now you can't leave," we cut to the boys down at south of the border, and where do we have to prove that we're at south of the border?
Right,
real
that's
quick
your
and get
second
going.
stop.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's where Michael Perry lights firecrackers underneath me, and I freak out. And then we cut back to the girls in Hoboken, and the first thing you see is her angry face, which you don't see too often, holding up the girl against the wall, saying, "I'm gonna kick your lily white ass back to Manhattan."
Unbelievable.
And the girl goes, "I'm afraid of heights, please let me down." I think it was Kimberly Magnus, I think she was the actress. and it was just
So
so
cute.
Everybody
funny.
in it was so
Yeah,
funny.
and then
So
each girl,
fun.
Susanna Melendez was beating somebody up.
Yes.
Maria Barada,
Justine Rossi,
she had the
Burley.
great said "You're never leaving New Jersey,"
Oh.
and Alyssa and Denise Fennell and Gargani was in there too.
Gargani.
Yeah.
We got to get Michael
We
Gargani.
co-blind
on
with
the show.
Gargani in there.
Yeah.
So many wonderful people and funny people.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to talk about because we talked about Lynn. We all know Lynn. Lynn
Oh.
Portis is going to be on the show next week.
Yes.
I always say, genius. She's a genius. She scored the film
Yes.
and she wrote the. Well, tell me about the title song.
She, the title is "She Put the Hoe in Hoboken." Yeah.
Right.
So what I contacted Lynn, and I asked her, and she said yes. She was like, definitely like one of us. When and where? Tell me, blah blah blah.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. I said, well, I want this one song to
What's
be
the number one rule of improv? We all know it.
yes and
Yes, and you
Yes,
say
and.
yes to everything.
yes,
That's it. You never say no to an improv.
Yes.
And that's kind of like how we live our lives, right?
yes.
Right. So Lynn, you asked Lynn.
I asked Lynn if she would write a song. I wanted like a 50s feel, a big band feel to it.
Like a Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gave her the title and the word Lackawanna, because I knew I wanted Lackawanna in there, because
Why?
Lackawanna Station is in Hoboken. It's a very famous, they have a
right,
big
yes.
clock tower and everything. If you look across the river, you can see the Lackawanna.
Oh.
And she came back with this song, and it was just, she turned the hoe in Hoboken into Lady Luck. Like it wasn't a person. The hoe was Lady Luck, which I thought was genius.
She is
And
genius.
it was just
Lynn
about,
Portis.
and doubled down, and she put all these betting terms in there, and sure enough, she got Lackawanna in there perfect, and she sang it, played it, she played
Do you
it back.
remember the line that rhymed with Lackawanna?
All the boys in Lackawanna want you on the back, something like that.
Oh, she
yeah.
got it in there.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't even like weirdly placed in
Oh,
there.
no,
It was
it's
just
perfect. That's
melodically.
Lynn.
Oh, she
Yeah.
was great, and so
So she started off writing that song.
Right.
And then ended up scoring the film.
yes,
Which is, if you don't know what scoring is, which sometimes a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know at one point, is when you're watching a movie, there's a scary scene, all of a sudden you hear, or something scary, or like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's the sounds, musical sounds behind a scene.
Mhm.
Or sometimes you hear like happy music when someone's walking down the street. That is strategically done. That doesn't just happen on its own.
Mhm.
Someone is doing that. Someone either is watching the film without sound
Mhm.
and actually playing while it's happening, or they take the film home and they do it. So how did Lynn do it?
I gave her the scenes, and we sat down, and
On film.
yeah.
Okay.
And she just sat at her keyboard and watched them, and I said, give me an Italian Benny Hill.
An
And
Italian.
she starts with da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh my God!
Unbelievable.
Come on! I was like,
Yeah.
come on! You knew it before I got here. She was like, no, what? And she had, she took the Ho and Hoboken melody and just changed it around, made it slower sometimes, and
Right.
just worked out, tweaked it here and there, where you would just hear the melody all the time, but in a totally different way. When I would do, it opens up with a cemetery scene. And it's the Ho and Hoboken, but she played it just a piano solo.
Which I want
really
to
slow.
go back to because of the bread. Now
Yeah.
we got to segue into the bread.
Right,
So-
right.
All right, so let me look out for the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes left to our show. All right, so one of the things that I loved about your show, because I completely identify with it, is that your character Lenny was always eating.
Yes.
Am I right?
As much as I could, yeah.
I mean,
Cannolis.
anytime that he turns around, I love it. You turned around, the camera's behind you, and you go, what? And he's got bread in his mouth all the time. Now, the reason bread is so funny to me is because my family loves bread. And Hoboken is all, we talked about that.
Yeah.
In my house, we would go to my cousin Ronnie and I had this joke, because we'd go to a wedding, and the first thing the guys get up, it's a wedding, where's the bread?
Yep.
The next thing you know, waitress, we need some more bread over here. And the waitress comes up and says, you need any dessert? Anybody? No, we ate too much bread. It was always about the bread. And my uncle, John Savino, was a baker and had his own bakery, Idolo Bakery. Shout out to all his amazing kids. They're still in the business. Best bread I ever had in my life, my Uncle Johnny made. So I am on a mission. I'm putting this out there now on our launch show. New Yorkers, I am on a mission to find the best Italian bread in New York.
Mm.
So if anybody has suggestions, I will go and try it. I'll go to those bakeries and try it, because it's going to be a running thing. Maria, I love some bread. So, thank you, Susan.
I'm sorry, you did
Okay,
bring
so
some
we have bread tonight, of course, because what do we have? This
Oh my
brings
God.
us to the part of our show called "Keep Eating." Go ahead, because that's what we do. We keep eating, and that's that line from Raging Bull.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
eating. What are you doing? You're what? And he's eating the right. Look at your stomach. You're blocking the television. Remember that scene? So I am not one of those girls that doesn't eat. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't. I mean, I'm just gonna eat. That's my thing. You know, there's a lot of things I don't do, but I'm gonna keep eating. All right. So tonight we're gonna have some snacks after the show. They did try some to make sure it wasn't, or during. You can enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we had to.
Make sure that it. And so tonight, what do we have? A typical Italian snack.
If you could see, well.
Thank you, Susan. Susan, why don't you tell us about that snack?
No, you believe.
No,
Go ahead.
please. What do you see there?
Okay, I see salami.
It's peppered salami.
Pepper salami. Sorry, I'm not Italian.
It's all right, I like this, I like this.
And I forgot what these are called, but
Those
they're
are-
little mozzarella balls.
Little
Bocconcino.
Bocconcinos.
Bocconcino.
So mozzarella balls for the Americans, as my cousins would say, for the Irish people, they're just
And-
cheese balls.
And molto pan.
And right, and delicious. We cut up the bread. So after the
Show off.
show, we're gonna enjoy some.
We know
That's
that.
just an appetizer, though. I mean, you know, there's so much.
Like a
we eat.
good Italian hostess. I mean,
Right.
well, any good.
Look,
I mean, you're
yeah,
hostess.
as I said, there's a lot of stuff I don't do, but I eat. So that's another thing. If there is something you want us to talk about, food-wise, we will. I like that Susie is sampling it. Thank you, Susie, because I can't wait
No,
to.
thank you.
I'm living vicariously through you. Although I go straight for the salami over there. No jokes, anybody that knows me. No jokes about that. It's not funny. All right. So now bread
Yes.
and Hoboken. Let's
Yeah.
segue back to that.
Okay.
So I read once when Frank Sinatra died, and where did Frank Sinatra?
We lived on Monroe Street, I believe.
In Hoboken.
Yeah.
So when you leave Hoboken, or come into Hoboken,
Uh-huh.
what does it say there?
There's a sign that says, "Welcome to Hoboken, birthplace of baseball and Frank Sinatra."
Right.
And that's some 1-2 punch right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two amazing
Right.
American things, right?
Absolutely.
So now this is a true story, and I heard it when it happened. When Frank Sinatra passed away, we'll have to Google what year that was. Apparently, people to pay tribute to Frank went to where he was born, the
Mhm.
apartment he was born in, and just put down loaves of bread, right?
Yep.
So just like Jesus created the loaves of bread for the rest of us, these mourners went and gave back
What
to
a
Frank,
wonderful tribute.
right?
But he enjoyed bread very much
I know.
because I just found out that he had Hoboken bread shipped to him in Palm Springs
Wow.
while he was shenanigan.
And we know what was
Oh,
happening
no,
there.
what's going on.
Hey, you know what? Let me stop this for a minute. Give me some bread. Call Hoboken. Give me some bread.
Marie's Bakery.
So it was Marie's Bakery.
Marie's and
Is
Dom's
it still
Bakery.
around?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. So we'll,
yeah.
now I live right on the border, literally. The only thing that divides me from New Jersey, because I live uptown, in Washington Heights, as the Sioux, right?
Yep.
We're uptown girls.
Yeah.
Is there's a bridge called the GW Bridge,
Mhm.
George Washington Bridge, and it connects New Jersey to Manhattan.
Yes.
So, and that was the bridge that apparently Chris Christie put
Closed down?
Well, he says he didn't do it, but.
Oh, my God,
Oh my
please.
God. So this new thing has resurfaced with Chris Christie, who I'm sorry, but the jokes these days are writing themselves.
Yeah.
They're writing themselves, and Chris Christie apparently shut down the beaches over the weekend, right?
Island Beach. Yeah, all the state beaches he shut down.
Because they were having some budget issue, right?
Right.
So he's the governor of New Jersey. So he shut down all the beaches. That meant all these families on 4th of July couldn't go to the beach with their
Unbelievable.
kids, with their girlfriends, with, you know, you want to go to the beach, right? But Chris Christie and his family, they caught them on the beach. So they were
Oh my
spread
God.
out there with the food and the whatever the
Yeah.
hell they had. And Chris Christie, he's not a small guy.
Uh-huh.
My dad actually calls him Tony Soprano.
Uh-huh.
And Judy Mesa, you know, or Judy Mesa
Yeah.
calls him Cheeseburger. So Cheeseburger, he was out on the in a little lawn chair,
Uh-huh.
and so now what people have done, if they superimpose this, he keeps popping up in the craziest
Oh,
places.
it's so funny.
Superimposed.
Yep.
I just just Google Chris Christie superimposed beach chair. You're gonna pee your pants. It's just the funniest thing. So he's popped up everywhere. So okay, so what we want to put out there to you is bread. Anybody that knows about bread in New York City, I want you to tell me about good bakeries, or if you're out there and you make good bread, let me know about it,
Mm.
and I will come and taste it, And we are going to at some point award Best Italian Bread in New York from this show.
Wow.
The Keep Eating, Go Ahead section of What's the Story with Maria, because we want to know what's the story with the good, where's the good bread? I want to know where the good bread is. I know, I used to love Zito's on Bleecker Street, and that was when I moved here, but I think Bleecker Street went all like, you know, upscale, and and a lot of those little stores couldn't survive anymore. And I was very sad about Zito's going under. That was my favorite. So if anybody knows of a bakery that has good bread, let us know about that. As the show goes on, we're going to be talking about great restaurants that we love. We have great friends that own an amazing restaurant called Three of Cups.
Yes.
Anthony Barilli and Justine Rossi Barilli. They met in the show as well.
Amazing story.
And I'm going to have those guys on.
The First Avenue and 5th Street in East Village.
Is it 5th Street?
Yep.
Okay.
Right on the corner.
First Avenue and 5th Street. It's called Three of Cups, and it's an Italian restaurant, and it's almost got this gothic feel to it.
Yeah.
It's like you've stepped into another world.
Dimly lit.
And they have amazing brick oven pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I love. I love a lot of stuff, but I love that brick oven pizza.
Right.
Me too.
You know, it's almost like you would get in Naples. That kind of really like, it's about the bread.
Yeah.
Here we go again, right? So,
and then downstairs they have a great rock and roll lounge.
I don't know that as much.
Oh, really?
You know that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's great. They got couches and you know, it's just really cool place. They played Rolling Stones and you know all this great rock and roll music.
Great music.
How cool.
Just a cool East Village feel. I'm sure that the old time East Village residents love that place.
Yes.
Oh,
It's kind of like that's where you can be
speakeasy
yourself.
almost.
Yeah, a lot of tattoos working down there, and just a lot of cool people hanging out. And the bartenders.
I feel it's
always-
one of the more original parts of New York. I mean, that's what I remember.
Yeah, you're right. Now, New York has changed so much since I got here in 1990, and I cannot tell you what changed since then. And I'm sure before that things have really changed. But we'll also try to talk about different neighborhoods in New York. Like tonight, we talked a tiny bit about Washington Heights, but not much. But we're gonna do a show just on the Heights up here, because there's an amazing community up here of it's Dominican families, Hasidic Jews, and now the gays are moving in. And you know what happens when the gays move in? The property value
The
goes
rent's
up.
going
Yeah.
up.
They make everything beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn it! And then the prices go up. Damn you, gay man! Damn you!
They say
With your
Asbury Park.
extendable income.
Asbury Park is probably the best Jersey Shore place to go to now.
Because the
Which
gays.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so but we're going to be talking about, like we just a little bit touched on the Lower East Side. I work in the Village. I work in a great nightclub downtown in the Village. That's where Tony and Tina's was. Then it moved to Midtown. There's so many amazing neighborhoods here that we're going to talk about. We'll definitely have you guys back on the show. Thank you for
Thank
being my
you.
Oh, thank
so
you.
now I'll let you guys finish off. Anything else you want to talk about? We got like about 7 minutes.
I just want to congratulate you on your show. This is fantastic,
Yeah,
Maria. This is
really
great. I'm so happy
exciting.
for
I'm
you.
like-
I'm so happy too. And Susan, thank you for saying yes. I really
Yes,
manipulated
thank
this
you.
thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of these people that acts like I'm just winging it, but I am very much about, I have to control my environment.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of things that will come at me, and I'm like, okay, what's going to make me feel calm? My friends, people that I love that are not going to like come at me with too much stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys were two of those people that I just was like, oh, this is going to be so great.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you for that. We'll come back on. And now, so again, I want you to tell people and spell it out. If they want to see my Miami or Bust, a Hoboken Bet, where is it going to be?
Well, right now you can see all the trailers on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and go in their search box and put Miami or Bust, all 3 trailers will come up. Right now I'm uploading the version to Vimeo, where you can pay for it and watch it and
How do you
download
spell
it.
Vimeo?
Vimeo.
Okay.
Vimeo.com. It's kind of like YouTube, but a little bit different.
And you can see the whole movie there?
The whole movie starting probably in 2 weeks, so I'll put a notice up on Facebook.
Okay, you can put it up on this
But
page
you can
too.
see the trailers. You can check out. Yeah, absolutely. You can put.
Yeah,
put
and
it
my
up, yeah.
and my family will love this movie. But
Yeah.
all across the country, I think the show goes across the country. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
about it. I'll find out
And
more.
real quick, I'm happy to announce on
Yeah.
your show
Yeah.
the sequel to Miami or Bust.
What?
Yeah, Jenny and Lenny get married at
Oh my
Caesar's Casino in Atlantic City.
Oh my God.
So we're in talks with them, and it seems really good that
And
they're going to
they-
let us use the facility.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully at the end of September, I hope you guys are around to be in it.
Of course.
We're going to do like 2 days down in Atlantic City, and we're going to shoot it. But
Oh my God.
I just found this out very recently, and I'm so happy to announce it on
Wow.
the show.
That is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so
so that's
so
the
many
next
great
one.
things are happening and coming down the pike, and you're gonna have to come back when you start doing that.
Absolutely.
So,
whenever you need.
yeah, I love this. So I also want to say, I want to also, with this show, want to take a minute to say there's a lot of stuff in the world that drives us all crazy on all sides. Doesn't matter what side you're on.
Mm-hmm.
People get on our nerves, whatever. We have, sometimes days are hard. And what I want to do with the show too is just remember the good stuff we have. Because there's so much good. And like today, I purposely did not watch the news. Because I'm a news junkie.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm not going to watch it. I want to focus on like this great experience. And the stories I want to tell with my friends are these great stories. Because what we used to do when I was a kid is we would all sit around, and our families told stories. We were storytellers. And I remember all of them where we would just sit and listen. And so I want to do that. And I have just so many stories to tell. My friends have stories to tell, and I want the world to hear it. And also, so I want you some homework this week too. Anybody that knows me knows I'm all about the gratitude. So put some gratitude in your attitude, folks. Now you might not know what that is. Stop complaining. Okay, this is your homework for one day. Take 24 hours. You can't complain. That's it. From now, what is it? It's almost 10 o'clock, 3 minutes to 10. You cannot complain until tomorrow night at 10.
Wow.
That's right. Now you can think it. You can think it.
Okay.
You can think like,
Verbalize.
what's the story with that guy? He's up. You know what I mean? And whatever you want. But you know, put a little gratitude in your attitude. Say, I'm gonna be grateful for what I have today. I'm gonna end with gratitude. 24 hours. That's all. Just do that for one day. Let me know how it goes next week. If you wanna reach me, I have a website, Maria Gentile, 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 for you Italians, mariagentile.com, and I'm a songwriter, and you can also find my CDs there. You can download them if that's your thing, or you can, both albums you can download, or you can buy one of them hardcover. Do they call it hardcover anymore? What do they call that now? I don't know. Hard copy.
Hard copy.
Yeah.
CD. So that's that. That's kind of something that I do. But if you want to let us know something that you want to see on the show or hear on the show, we're going to be broadcasting Facebook Live too. Let me know. Just email me there, or if you have my email, you guys that have my email, please don't hesitate, or you can Facebook me and then Facebook message me.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something you want to talk about. You have a restaurant, you have a business in New York that you want me to talk about, that you want me to check out, I am so happy to do that. Because you could never, I've lived here almost 30 years, and you could never, ever know everything. There's streets I still haven't been down.
Yeah.
True.
Right?
And having recommendations from friends on where to go in New York City is just the best too. You know, people who have actually been there and experienced the place. It's
Yeah,
not like,
because Yelp is one thing. Yelp is fine, it's good, I'll check it out once in a while, and I think it's great, and I always appreciate Yelp. But sometimes, it depends on what...
fake reviews, people pissed off.
Yeah,
You know.
and I want to know the actual experience that
Yeah.
someone had.
Yeah.
You know what I like the best about any place is the service. Because
Right.
God knows I've been in the service industry since the day I was
Me too,
born.
me too.
You know, so I always appreciate that good service, and a shout out to all you real people out there and
Yes.
hard workers. Jimmy, our producer, was so amazing,
Thank you, Jimmy.
helping me out.
Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. All
Can I
right,
do a quick shout out?
please.
Hello, Silvana Mastrolia. That's it.
Now you have.
That's it. I always forget to say her name.
Okay.
Mastrolia? I don't know. Whatever.
And we're gonna be. I'm gonna come on your show really
Yes,
soon.
please.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
With Lynn. Lynn wants to come on with
Lynn,
you.
yeah.
Can Susan
Oh my
come on
God.
too?
Yeah, let's do it. So Lynn,
Oh.
We'll have your own show.
and how much time we got left, Jimmy? I think we got it. You were done. Okay, that's it.
Wow.
Thank you, sir, so much. You were so great and helpful. How we do, Jimmy? Okay, he's on to the next show.
Oh, wow.
'Cause
yeah,
there's a
that's
show right after this.
Programming and
Wow.
timing, yeah.
Guys, we did it.
We right on,
We're still-
We
lady.
did it. Okay,
Bye,
finish,
guys.
right?
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. We did it. Thank you for being here for our first show. This
Right
was
there.
so
Look right in the
exciting.
camera. Thank you.
Look right in the camera. And there's Joe. I am grateful for Rita, okay, Joe Sabino says, I am grateful for Rita's slush in Chelsea. Thank you, Joe. Okay, the North End, he's writing, he's grateful for, Crown, oh my God. So people are writing what they're grateful for. I love it. Thank you for being here with us. We really appreciate you, and have a great weekend. Come back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. Lynn's going to be here, and my friend Jay Rivera. Oh my God, wait till you see him. Susie, he is easy on the eyes. He is easy on the eyes, and he is a person. Oh, that's right. You are taking. He's a personal trainer, and he's also an amazing, amazing actor and singer. So come back next week for that. Okay? Now, you guys, let's go eat. Let's have some snacks.